So I recently made a few posts on Facebook that have upset the Dark Conservatarian, and I can't say I feel too bad about it. You see, I have been a Trump critic from the beginning, and from the moment he said, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, fucking TikTok and their stupid rules. The minute he said that, I immediately said, nope, I would never vote for this man, ever. I don't give a shit what he does. That kind of behavior is unbecoming. Every MAGA out there would not accept that kind of behavior from their daughter's boyfriend, but they would accept it from the guy that has the nuclear codes. It just shows it's a fucking cult. DarkCon got all bitchy at me because I shared a post from a guy named Tony Rush. The post said, if you are loud about Charlie Kirk's unaliving, but quiet about ICE unaliving a woman in cold blood, you're one of the bad guys. The Dark Conservatarian says in response to me, fuck you, Skylar. What kind of an echo chamber are you in to think this extreme about this subject? That anybody who was vocally against Kirk's unaliving, but doesn't say much about the Renee Good unaliving, is a bad person. When they are celebrating what happened to her after crying about Charlie Kirk more than his own bitch wife ever did, kind of tells me all I need to know about them. Just saying. DarkCon continues, in my opinion, it was a clean pew-pew. Remember, it's TikTok and their stupid rules. Pity that it happened, but she practically clipped the guy with her car right beforehand, whereas Kirk was just plain pew-pewed in cold blood for speaking his opinions. Not equivalent. Well, I don't know what video you saw, but the one I saw, she's clearly turning the car away from the guy. And he was so in fear for his life, and he was so in danger, he called her a fucking bitch right afterwards. Pardon my language, DarkCon, but that's just a bunch of horse shit. Personally, I think that every ICE agent should be given no quarter. And let me define what I mean by no quarter so no one can use this against me. I mean in terms of if you know someone who's an ICE agent, tell them they're not welcome anywhere, whether it be in public or if they were a friend or a relative or a partner or whatever. If I had children and they were in ICE, sorry guys, my kids are dead to me. I would not tolerate or put up with them being in ICE and saying either you pick this family or you pick a paramilitary terrorist organization. What's it going to be? Then I made a post on the 10th, quote, the dissolution of ICE is non-negotiable at this point. The DarkCon basically says, and I'm going to summarize, he says he's confused about my current immigration beliefs. He says, I recall you in a recent video saying you're against illegal immigration and mentioning how you don't like illegal immigrants taking advantage of our welfare system, but you're also seemingly against ICE deporting illegal immigrants. First of all, illegal immigrants cannot get access to the federal social safety net. Some states and cities are giving it to them. Gavin Newsom in California wanted to give Medi-Cal benefits to illegal immigrants, and now he's having to back off that because he wants to be president, and he is a slippery motherfucker and a Patrick Bateman wannabe. I have been consistently against illegal immigration. I have had people get pissy with me saying no one's illegal on stolen land, and I stop listening. I am trying to be the kind of person who listens to people I don't agree with, but sometimes I just can't help but tune them out. When people say no one's illegal on stolen land, all I say is resources are finite no matter what system we live under. Whether it be communism, capitalism, it doesn't matter. Those resources are finite. The only way one could possibly support open borders is the dissolution of the welfare state. And as far as I'm concerned, the MAGAs aren't for that. The left obviously isn't for it. So clearly a supermajority of the public is for keeping the social safety net. And the opening of the borders will naturally strain it. Even if they do pay taxes, because funny thing, ICE has been grabbing people using IRS records. And that's funny because a lot of the MAGAs say they don't pay taxes, and yet they do. And I'm not going to be pedantic and say, they pay sales tax when they buy something, but like actual income tax and property tax, turns out they are taxpayers, net taxpayers, as national conservatives like to mention net taxpayers when they're talking about stripping civil liberties. If you are for ICE deporting them, then isn't it evident because you only seem to talk about the negative incidents regarding ICE and never about the stuff they do that you presumably do agree with? I agree with deporting illegal immigrants. I personally think that the sooner you're caught, the better. If you want to come to this country, yes, it should be legally. And here's the thing, DarkCon, and to any leftist who might make a video in response, I want you to hear me clearly. I want immigration reform. I believe that if you're from Mexico or Canada or wherever on this earth, and you are a peaceful, nonviolent individual, and you want to be a productive member of American society, I believe that it should go like this. You prove who you say you are. You pass a criminal background. You pass a civics test. And then we just get you in a job training program after you take the oath of allegiance to the United States and help you find a place to live. And then that's it. You're an American citizen. It shouldn't take you 30 fucking years to go from starting out to the end. Some people are not going to wait that long, and I can't say I blame them. As far as I'm concerned, ICE should be targeting just violent, illegal immigrants. Anyone who disagrees with that is an idiot. But ICE is out here grabbing people without any proof that they're illegally here. There is not a single reason for the illegal, racist deportation of legal, naturalized citizens and natural-born citizens. So when these assholes say, come legally, but they're still snatching up people even as they're about to take the oath of allegiance to this country, or they're going to an immigration court to comply with what's going on, that should tell you it wasn't about immigration following the law. It was about skin color. You know, because a lot of these MAGAs, including this president, why don't they come from Europe? Why do they have to come from these shithole countries, as this president said? You know, I'm not saying every MAGA voter's racist. I'm saying that racism is not a deal breaker for them. And of course, I'm going to talk about mainly the negative incidents involving ICE. There's just so many to pick from, whether it was Renee Good or any of the other people that were unalived in 2025 thanks to this president giving ICE more funding than the military budget of several other countries. In fact, ICE has more federal funding than any law enforcement agency in this country at $100 billion. So the Dark Conservatarian asks me, and I'm going to try to hurry this up because I got less than 2 minutes left because I'm going to put this on TikTok and YouTube. Open borders, restricted borders. I favor restricted borders. I don't think the border wall is going to work when you can just take a saw and cut through it. Not even a $100 electric saw can do it. Deport illegal immigrants, 0 of them, or deport some or all of them. I'd say deport some because it's more realistic than violating due process, snatching people up that wrongfully and sending them to a country they have no connections to, like Rwanda in the UK or El Salvador from the United States. And who would do the job of deportation if not ICE? Hopefully an agency whose powers are severely restrained, because if you can't do your job without violating civil liberties, then you don't deserve to exist. Plain and simple. This reminds me of this argument you and I had about the police in 2020, and I am still willing to have that argument because I fucking love to argue. And if you do not agree with what I said in this video, you are more than welcome to challenge me to a debate, whether it be the DarkCon, whenever that could happen, or if you just don't agree with anything I said in the video. I'll leave my email address, I'll leave my Twitter, whatever. Feel free to challenge me to a debate. In a few days, I'll make a video recapping the first year of the second term of this dog shit president, and I'll see you soon.